What's going on, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video, and I'll be reacting to Pathologic Classic HD review. This is from MandaloreGaming. It's another request from Alpha Shocker. I know you asked me to look at this. How long has it been? A week, I think. But I got sick, and of course I'm poor, so I can't just miss work because I'm sick. So I'm getting to it now. I feel better. My back is not twisted in knots either anymore. So I'm getting old, So, but anyway, I don't think I've ever heard of this game. Maybe because this looks pretty old, like I don't know, late '90s, maybe early 2000s, and that was back when I used to collect like Game Informers and stuff like that, and so well, gaming magazines. So maybe I saw it. I don't know. It might be older than that. Hell, they might say this come out when it start this. They say, oh, this was from the mid '90s or some shit. But never seen this. Don't know what it is. So let's just get into it. I hate when it does it. Whenever it. Damn it. Is it caught on something? Oh, it's not. I'm an idiot. Forgot I turned my computer out because I was messing with some of the connections. I was like, why is it not moving? Because the microprocessor is like turned this way now instead of this way. Anyway, here we go. Okay.
Right.
He's right. Is that like a cutscene in the game?
Where do I even start? I'm no stranger to weird games, but this one is up there. This one is really up there.
No, it's gonna be good
To
when
put
the
it
review it
simply,
is like I don't even.
Pathologic
Where
is a
do I
Russian game
start?
released in 2005.
Oh, that's
It
why
garnered a
it's
lot
a
of
Russian
awards in
game.
its own country and went mainly unnoticed in the West. There are good reasons for that. For one, the English translation was incomprehensible. Pathologic made I Divine Cybermancy look like a Marvel movie.
Wait.
But then in 2015, an HD version was announced. It looked promising. Some updated visuals, widescreen support, and best of all, an updated translation. It also restored content that was cut from the English version because the translation was so horrible it was unusable. Not that a lot of people got to that anyways. So that came out, and it still remains obscure. So let's get the game started to find out why. The game opens with a group of kids having a funeral for a doll. It's odd, but not as odd as the in-game play.
Our hands are no longer tied. Where are we?
The hell?
The muscular contraction is there. Means you're already inside of him. This must be one of the ventricles, right here.
What a silly place.
These are the three playable characters.
Why does the person
Before the
walking
game's even
in
started, they're
slow
arguing
motion?
over whose method will be best for the job. The music is creepy, and the dialogue and delivery is very performative.
Only a miracle can set us free without us
I know it's like
having
they
to destroy
when they own a stage. I'm
something.
guessing
I can do
is this a
miracles. Just let
it's
me.
like
Then they
theater?
do a stage freeze, and it's all over. Watching this was optional. You could go to the door to choose a character at any time. So, you have the Bachelor, haruspex, and Changeling. You can only play the Changeling after you beat the game with one of the other characters, so I recommend the Bachelor. Time for video games.
It actually looks fine. Like, the graphics look decent.
Anyways, you're a Bachelor of Medicine. You've come to a strange town to investigate a claim that a man is
Bachelor of
centuries
Medicine.
old. From the very first second I started playing,
So a
it seemed
doctor?
uncomfortable and cramped.
Or
There's something strange about this
like a
architecture.
pharmacist?
Even
Like
something
what
as
do you?
mundane as the
What
stairwell
do you-
seemed really creepy. It's almost like an Escher stairway, like something's off or not real about it.
That looks
The very
weird.
first conversation you have with someone feels the same way. The writing is flowery and your first conversation is philosophical. It's almost like you're in a dream, and it's reminding me of...
Why is like her head is part of her head is
You get a
missing?
map marker to the old man, and then your tutorial. From them. Your first look at the town sure is ominous.
What the fuck is
It's
this?
like you're
Silent
about to be
Hill?
practicing medicine in Silent Hill. Or Morrowind. These guys also talk to you like you're in a play, and explain the game's mechanics in the same terms. There's a day-night cycle. You can miss most of the events. You want to visit important people, but
That's what you
not the
want a video
common
game to
folk
be able to
because
miss
they're
most of the
extras.
events.
Okay, wait, no, don't dismiss them entirely. Okay, there's some more philosophy discussion, but wait a minute. This is going to be a survival game, so I need to figure out the
Have to
town,
eat,
meet
sleep,
people, and survive it.
and shit.
No problem. I'm dead. So do I get a game over, or...
He just, I'm dead. Everyone running around here with purge masks on.
Ah, right. I didn't save. Let's try that again.
Okay.
Turns out you're never going to meet your man. He was mysteriously murdered. There are strange
Oh.
things happening in a town that's weird enough already.
So the person you
locals are
pick, you
eerie.
don't even play
They're
as?
usually polite, but very reserved with you, which is understandable since you're from out of town. So now you're playing
What is with this
Magnum PI in a
music?
culture
Is
that's
this
utterly
the
alien
music
to you.
from
To make matters worse, rumors are swirling of a sand plague outbreak. You have
It
no
sounds
idea
like
what the sand
music
plague
from,
is, but the locals are terrified of it.
Deadly
The
Premonition?
investigation points to a serial killer, but that's when things get complicated. People have ideas on who or what the serial killer could be. Some kind of necromancer? A local woman with a criminal past? What the hell is a step demon? In fact, what is this city?
Demons that
What
live
year
under
is this
stairs?
supposed to be? The style of dress is all over the place and everyone sounds so strange.
I had a feeling.
Kind of reminds me of what is with
Mystery
these
keeps
pictures?
building. We'll come back to
It
this.
kind of reminds
Now I'm
me
gonna
of
talk about the
Resident
presentation.
Evil.
Despite
What
being
was
the
it?
HD
8
edition,
that
on a
came out
technical
where
level, the visuals are subpar. The original game was also
it's like,
considered very
are these
ugly for
people stuck
2005.
in like
The regular NPCs
the
have no
1800s?
variation. Every mugger uses the exact same model. They're always carrying a knife. So fighting a group of them is silly, like they're all coming out of a clown car. Just the same bowl cut bandit over and
James
over again.
Bond
All of
villains?
the minor NPCs
James
are
Bond,
the type,
like,
and they too have no variation.
cannon fodder just run towards
This
you.
is every drunk in the game. This is every store owner in the game. This guy, you guessed it. It would be nice for there to be minor variation, even change their clothes, unless... The fidelity of character models and just about everything else is okay-ish for 2005. That's the best I can say for all the technical stuff. It is dated,
Okay.
but not horribly so.
Who was that
In
with a
contrast, the
flamethrower?
art direction is interesting.
Like,
Some
where
parts
was
of
the
the town
story
look
go
roughly
that,
like
that
post
someone's just in
revolution
the town with a
But that
flamethrower
other
and killing
parts look
people?
like they're from a Mongolian steppe culture. Then you have buildings that combine the styles. You also have buildings that don't fit in at all. For example, the giant superstructures throughout the town. They're just looming over everything. I can understand a town having a big train yard. What's not normal is your town having a giant polyhedron tower on the outskirts. The one that's breaking all physical laws and filled with children. The walls are all made of paper with writing on it. The entire city has a really peculiar taste in artwork. The whole town seems like it's in another dimension. How about these big
Yeah.
buildings with no roof and no walls? How does something like this even happen? Wait a minute. Damn you, Cromwell, were you here too? Not to mention all the strange non-human creatures in town. They have a unique
I know who
look.
that
The
is.
whole art style does. The game builds so much mystery by just looking around.
Oliver
because they
Cromwell.
include
That was
areas
his
you would
name. I
expect
was trying to
this
think of his
place to have.
first name.
But the strange buildings seem just as important to the city, but you don't know what they're for yet. It doesn't look weird to look weird. There must be a purpose. At the same time, the game's trying to get something else out of you. So let's talk about that
It's gonna
second
make you
one.
feel
Back in the Call of
sick.
Cthulhu video, I mentioned that some of these older games have an uncanny valley effect.
Yeah, that's the
It's
that's
when
the
visuals
point
are
in these
dated,
games
but
to make you
just
feel
good-looking enough
sick.
to trick your brain a bit. Pathologic
You
fits
feel
neatly into this
physically
category.
sick
But
playing
there's
it.
something else off-putting besides
That's
the
what you
architecture.
want.
The colors. The game is drab. When you're exploring, it's very easy for parts of the city to blend together. It doesn't matter the time of day or the weather. Everything starts looking brown or yellow or green or gray. It's ugly and miserable.
In a
like a
Bioshock
never-ending
for a
funeral.
second. Huh?
Then you combine that with the low foggy draw distance, and it's like you're living in a haze. Even on a good day, this
Is
place
it
seems
raining
awful.
or is that like
Then things
bad
get
film grade? What
really
was that?
bad. And the only thing you can say is, you know what, this seems appropriate. You have an alien culture, everything looks dirty and gross. Of course the sky looks like Beijing traffic. The soundscape also seems to be off.
Look like
You hear muffled
Chicago
sounds
on
like
a
dogs barking
regular
and kids
day.
crying, but it seems to be right by your ears somehow.
Overcast.
A lot of the sound effects, especially the weapon sounds, are very subpar. However, the music is a completely different story.
Yeah, it
Some
sounded
of
like
it
they
sounds like it's
recorded
sneaking up on you.
somewhere else. Like they was recorded like outside or something. They tried to get rid of as much of the background noise as they could. That was kind of tight though. Okay, what is this? Not Resident Evil. What? Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver?
I've never heard anything quite like it. It has horns, tribal chants, opera notes, cow sounds. It's like Genghis Khan made the Half-Life 2 soundtrack. A lot of the tracks are very atmospheric and kind of catchy.
Run
I
around
wouldn't
with a
listen to it in my
scalpel.
car, but I enjoy it for what it is. It's the biggest, strongest nail in keeping the game's atmosphere together. It has a very special kind of
Music can
atmosphere.
do that.
The
Like,
kind of
if
atmosphere
you were
where
like, I ain't
go
really
to a dirty
digging this, the
warehouse
music
and
can
find
make
guys
you
who all look like this.
the atmosphere
And then
so
the
much
music
better.
starts
Depends
playing
on
like a
what
Mongolian
atmosphere they
trip-hop
want.
remix of that song from The Fifth Element. This game is weird. This game is really weird.
I was thinking about
Alright,
those things
we
like
should
from the
talk about
Fifth
the game
Element.
part. Let's get back to
Those
our
like
Bachelor of
aliens you
Medicine.
see at the beginning of it and at the end. Like
You've
they remind me of
changed.
these things.
Or am I imagining things?
This game is frequently described as a survival
He's
horror
standing
game.
like
The emphasis is on survival. There's a lot to manage and do, and the clock is always ticking. There are several stats that you need to manage: your reputation, your
Are these
health,
the
your immunity
developers'
to the plague,
faces?
your
Like, who are
hunger,
these
your
people?
exhaustion, and your infection. Health is self-explanatory. Bad man hits you equals no good. Your reputation determines how people treat you.
Get
If it's bad,
lost.
store owners won't trade with you. If it's
Shh,
really
go
bad, city
away.
guards and even the townsfolk will try to attack you. Kill them and you lose even more. For example,
Oh.
you could break into someone's house, murder all the residents and their children, and rob them
Oh.
blind, but then people are going to gossip. That'll just mean more trouble. But you are
You know,
trying to
that's
survive,
what
so
GTA
things
is
might get
missing.
desperate. You can increase
Children
your
for you
reputation
to
by treating
be able
and
to
helping
run
the sick.
over and shoot.
But if your immunity's not high, then the infected could infect you. So when one's running at
That'd
you,
take
your
a lot of
instinct might be to
balls
kill
to
them before
put
they can infect you, but people don't like that
children
either. You're supposed to help the sick, not
that you
shish
can
kebab
kill
them.
in a video
People
game.
do like it
I
when you
don't
murder
even
all
think
the muggers.
the game
So
Hatred
you
did
shank
that.
them in the dead of
I
night
think
for more
you
stuff
can
and
only
more
kill
reputation.
adults
But
in
this
that
comes
game.
at a risk to your health. There are very few traditional healing items, so it could be better to try and avoid combat. Let the guards handle it. He's gonna serve and protect the hell out of that guy. Uh-oh. To get healing bandages and other specialized items, you have to understand the hobo economy. It's easy. What you do is dig through the garbage cans. Some have treasures like a broken razor blade or an empty bottle, others have nothing. So whenever you're walking around town, which you'll be doing a lot, check all the trash. Really, you should be dumpster diving at all times. Then you
Well,
want to
yeah,
fill your
anybody who
bottles with
plays a
water.
video game
There's a lot of
knows that
places
you
can do that.
check
Then
all
you
the
go and talk to
trash
the
all the
drunks who,
time.
for some reason, have all the healing bandages. So now you can trade
Yeah, go
water
up to this
bottles for
guy.
bandages and tourniquets.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
What
Or
the
you
fuck
can
is
go
wrong
the other
with
way.
his face?
Now you could be thinking if melee is so risky, then why not just use guns all the time? Well, I would, but guns are very rare. They also wear down and become less accurate over time, so they need repairs. Ammunition is also rare and expensive. You could go to the Kmart in the bad part of town, but there is a more obvious place to
I
find
think you
bullets.
can
Check
either
the school
make.
children. They have plenty of ammunition. They sometimes trade for dumpster
Okay.
items, but all
I
kids
think
are different.
making the
You can scam little
ammunition
girls for
rare as
antibiotics.
well as
Maybe
making
you randomly
the
found a piece of
actual
jewelry while
weapon
walking around.
like
Girls give good
loses
drugs and ammo for those. This edgy kid wants your
effectiveness
knives. This awkward
is
kid
a
wants
bit
your
much.
nuts.
They do
The art of
one or the other,
exploiting
not
children
both.
is truly powerful. You always want the hobo economy in mind. Maybe you can find something to trade for little Cindy's Novocaine. You
Look
get
at these
food to
people's
manage your hunger.
faces. Everybody
Of
in
course,
this
depending on
town
the
looks
situation
like
the town is in, the prices
make
for food
Jeffrey
can change
Dahmer look
dramatically
normal.
from day to day. Are you getting a great deal?
I mean, he
Will
did
prices
look
drop
normal.
5 times
Yeah,
tomorrow?
that was the reason
Who
why
knows?
he was able to
For dealing
kill
with
as
the
many
plague,
people as he
there are a
could.
lot of immunity drugs
But
that
they just
take,
look so
but
weird.
these
This
usually
is
damage
like
your health and you can overdose.
in
You sleep
mouth,
for
just
exhaustion,
like next to
but now your
that
hunger
town.
is going back up. Some
But
food
in his
items might
mouth, I
affect
should
your
say.
immunity or hunger negatively. Then there's dealing with the plague. If you don't know how to cure
There's
it,
a
you can only
plague
manage
too.
it.
There's a
For the
lot
love
of shit
God,
going
do
on
not
here.
get infected. It will. Oh God, it's here. You can find gear to increase your protection, find better gear, get your gear broken, get it fixed. It's almost an immersive sim. The problem is the execution. The
Yeah,
idea of
Todd
solving a
just dude's
mystery while
face.
maintaining all these stats is great. That's what the last game was about too. The thing is, the gameplay itself just isn't fun. The combat is very floaty and awkward. It's hard to tell the reach of your weapon. Guns quickly become inaccurate, making the hitboxes seem incorrect. It makes you want to wait until the enemy is right in front of you before firing so you don't waste any of your bullets. The worst by far are the rats because they can give you the plague. Melee with them drove me crazy and it took me a long time before I could reliably kill them that way. You can also sneak around and I honestly have
What
no
the
idea how
fuck?
that system works. I can risk shots here because they'll never see me. The mechanics are there but awkward like it's an early build of it. Sometimes the AI becomes
Feel like
silly,
he hit over like
sometimes
with
it just shuts
a
down.
hammer
When
rather
it is
than a
working,
knife.
they mainly charge at you and swing. Even then, it wasn't uncommon for the pathfinding there to go nuts too. It's just not enjoyable.
You got to
A
worry
weapon that
about
might
people
bring
trying to
variety
kill
like a
you
shotgun
and
just
actually
feels
getting
like
sick.
every other weapon. It doesn't feel like a big step up. You are risking a lot in combat, but it's just so poorly done that
Kind
you
of
don't feel
reminds
its
me
weight as
of
much. Plus, you
Resident
can
Evil
avoid it by
Outbreak
just
because
running into a nearby
you
building.
get killed
Still, this isn't the
by
worst part of the
zombies
game. Not
and
even
you
close
get
to it.
infected
Here's a good 90% of Pathologic.
and then turn into a zombie. I'm digging this music though. Why does it sound like a toilet flushing? Well, like the water rising back into the toilet after it's flushed. So.
Oh.
This music is too good for this game. Did he say this was an indie game? Because if this is an indie
Still
game,
going.
it makes sense. I guess that it looks like this. Well, if this supposed to be some type of like a AAA game in Russia, like, I mean, I guess you work what you got, but damn,
You are going to do so much walking.
like you
You
can.
might have thought that example was long. I don't think it was long.
I know
enough.
they
You can't
intentionally
run and
made
drain
the colors
exhaustion,
like this because they
you just
wanted
walk.
to feel like,
Going through garbage
you
isn't
know,
something to do on the
miserable and
side. It's
dreary.
something to do to give you sanity.
Oh, I
Take
thought
a
those were
trash break,
coughs.
back to
I
walking.
forgot those were garbage.
This is why the game has remained so obscure. All this walking. You have 12 days to survive, and each endgame day is roughly 2 hours. The games I've seen people complain about being walking simulators are usually very short. In my playthrough of The Bachelor,
I thought he was
I
gonna
did a lot of
show,
side quests, but not all of them. Do you know how long
It's
it
that
took me to
game
beat
that
it?
Norman Reedus was in. 20 hours.
If you can't get into the story of a game, don't play Pathologic. There's nothing for you here. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. From my perspective, the story is the only possible thing that could keep someone playing this game. Is the atmosphere and music great? Absolutely. Can it carry a game that long on its own? No.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
completely fine ignoring everything else in a game if the gameplay is fun. If the story and writing is good, then yeah, I can forgive some things being subpar. This tested my mentality of that to the extreme. I didn't know how to word this. Then this one man summed it up
How do you
perfectly.
say it tested it?
Pathologic. Great atmosphere and story propping up gameplay that is slow, boring, and endlessly frustrating. What a terrible game. Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. This game is
dude
mundane
seems
and
very
slow. It makes Stalker
conflicted.
look like Ikaruga. But it's really captivated me. That's a good word for it. It's holding me captive to walk down all these roads. I usually only
I
like
mean,
the
it
top
reminds
of the
me of
story
like
in a
Daily
game,
Premonition
because
where you just
usually I'm hoping that
drive
someone's gonna
around
play it
all the
themselves
fucking
and come
time.
up with their own conclusion.
I never
This
even
time
beat
it's so
that game,
impenetrable that
but
I'm gonna get more into it.
I
I'm not gonna
played,
talk
I think,
about
like
spoilers yet, I'll warn you. Back to The Bachelor.
six
Every
hours,
day you'll
something
have a
like
new
that
main
game?
mission.
I was
There's
like,
also
this-
side missions. You
it's
have
like
an
just
endgame day to
driving,
complete them.
and the map
Naturally, your
sucked.
main mission matters the most. The Bachelor has several characters in town who are bound to him. Their survival is crucial for getting the proper ending.
Thought that was
If you fail
Donald
your mission
Sutherland
or
for a
don't complete
second.
it before the day is over, one of your bound will die. Depending on how far
Damn.
you're into the game, it could be possible to still get the proper ending. Were they significant for
That's
days to
interesting.
come?
Actually,
Maybe.
real
I want to
consequences.
find out. On the other hand, you can completely ignore the side missions. Unlike most games, these aren't always rewarding. You might end up paying $2,000 out of pocket for something that's not worth it. Some cheap items and maybe some more background on a character. The side missions can have several outcomes besides failure. Some might give you rare items, some might give you nothing at all. Even if you don't finish them, they are worth looking into, because there are angles. Every character has an angle. It could be for good, it could be for evil, greed,
Square
whatever.
ass
The
head.
point is that characters will lie to you. Not in a video game fashion like you're gonna get ambushed in some building. Rather, it's the purpose to what you're doing. If you're looking into an event, people will have different details. The truth is in what lines up. You learn there are 3 powerful families who have been vying for control of the
Like
city
almost
for
like you
years.
an
So then
investigator
you
or
start
something.
to wonder what's really a part of their culture. Is there really a Shabnak step demon? Or is this their version of a drop bear? Wait, maybe there's a demon? The more you learn about the people, the more you learn how to play them yourself. It's possible to fail a main mission and some side quests just by revealing too much in a conversation. If you know enough and the timing is right, you can call
Really?
them out in a lie. When do you play dumb? When do you press the investigation? Not only do you need to figure out a bizarre culture, you also need to figure out how not to get played by the people using it against you. So you have a lot to think over walking around the town.
Damn.
I still think it's far too much thinking time. Then the plague hits.
But like,
things are
remember,
even
this
more
is a video
complicated.
game, alright?
Who's
It's
really
a little
helping you
bit
to try
too
and solve
much
the
thinking.
situation?
Like, I'm not in
Who's
school.
using the plague to make a
right?
power play? What supernatural
I think
forces are really going on?
It'd been interesting
Every
if,
night there's an optional mime performance at the town theater.
like,
The thing
LA
is, the
Noire
characters talk
might
about
have
what
been
happened that
more
day
like
and
that.
foreshadow possible futures. How can that be possible? Sometimes I understood what these plays were foreshadowing. Honestly, I have a really good feeling about the army coming to town. My gut feeling just tells me that it's gonna be great. Some of the other plays, well, I had no idea what they meant. The game has big twists, but sometimes they twist again. On one day, you're playing the Thing, trying to figure out who might be a shapeshifter. On another, you might be out in the wilderness
What?
looking for answers. All the walking
Oh, yeah,
across
he did
town,
say
all the
somebody
awful
was a
fetch quests,
shapeshifter that you
yeah,
could
they're still
choose at
there.
the beginning,
They
right?
even plot an identical
completely
twin logic
forgot that.
puzzle at one point. It hooked me in hard. Everything that's horrible is still horrible, but I could tolerate it. They even lampshade how slow the game is. This work is neither very time-consuming nor mundane. It is definitely more than a mere errand. It's a very important mission. It's a marathon of a game. It did give me a lot of answers when I beat it, but even more questions to wonder about. Then I realized that after all of that, there were 2 more characters. What? After all that walking, all that everything, you want me to do it again? I mean, what kind of psychopath would actually... Okay, the haruspex is a little different. Dangerous. Unlike the Bachelor, he's from the town. He's returned from studying medicine in the capital. Unfortunately, now he's the town's #1 suspect for the murder. Due to being wanted, he starts the game with very low reputation. Most of the town wants him dead. In fact, there are a
wow.
lot of
Why
events
don't you
that
just
let his
leave?
reputation go down. Take his very first quest, which
Like,
is to
well,
go out into
fuck
the
y'all,
wilderness
then.
and murder a child. He's very much the hard mode character. I'm still not sure why you can play him from the beginning. With your low reputation, you can't trade from the start. You do have another option.
That's for
See, the
real
worm creatures have a
gamers.
very peculiar
Get
way of guarding. It
good.
involves human blood. So if you win a fight with somebody and have a sharp object, you can harvest their organs. Coming from the Bachelor,
Wow.
this is an extreme change.
Well, I guess he's
the
a
hobo economy has now extended into the illegal organ market.
he has a
In
what
step
do you say?
culture, you have to be born into a certain caste to open up a
bachelor
body.
in
So
medicine.
the organs are really only illegal because people don't like you. Trading organs with the worm people for plants is very normal. These are desperate times.
Worm
so
people,
you might
why
have
is
to
that
take
shit
desperate
normal?
measures. I got 5 kids to feed. Besides healthy organs, you could also get infected organs. The Bachelor
Nice
had a lot
Total
of trouble with
Recall
that one.
reference.
You know, cultural law trouble and all that. You can explore around in the wilderness to collect plants. Sometimes you find a hot spot or a trail of them. Usually it's a needle in a haystack. I mean, Jesus Christ. Can't pick up that one. Which plants can I pick up? I don't know anymore. You can find multiple recipes that all make the same thing.
Now, see, I
Until
would
later.
probably like
Then you can make
this
cool stuff.
aspect of the
This
game,
is
like
neat, but I honestly wish they restricted it more. You can
basically
still dig through the
creating,
trash and
like,
do other stuff
herbs
the
and
Bachelor
shit.
did. The one thing you
Or I
don't get
should
is
say
a special
potions, I
eyeglass which
guess.
detects the infection. If you walk slowly, you won't have a problem with that anyways. Wait, did I say walk slowly? Those clouds will chase you, which you should expect when the cloud is made from screaming human skulls. The biggest distinction is how the characters treat you and the missions. The Bachelor does learn a lot of town lore, but not
Yeah,
very
these some
deeply.
ugly
He's
people.
very scientific, rational, and set in his ways. Initially, he's wanting to learn about the culture, not learn from it. So of course people don't want to bother. But the haruspex is a local, and those who do trust him, really trust him. They reveal things the Bachelor never learned, open with information he struggled to get, admit they're lying to the Bachelor. It's all running in parallel. You're getting a more complete picture of the narrative. You're learning the deeper parts of the town's lore. You participate in the
girl.
rituals and
Okay.
sacrifices, learn about their worship of bulls. Many of the locals believe the whole world rests on the back of a bull. The
I was
Bachelor
like, who is
dismisses this
that?
stuff,
And
but
then
now
he just
you're
instant
part of it.
killed, like, oh, I guess she's
Even
not
some of the
important.
plays which seemed like nonsense before, now I can get what's going on. You have a new set of bound, and you'll learn more about characters who you barely talked to before. You can even talk to the Bachelor like the Bachelor talked to you. The parallel narrative is really cool. But everything that was bad before is still bad, and in some cases even worse. Sure, the
Damn.
combat is still awful, but there's a big chunk of main missions that are filler, tedious, or both. I'll open the door if you bring me 50 vitamin pills, the ones that a shop owner might have a dozen of if I'm lucky. A kid might have 1 to 3. How about a dozen or 15?
50,
Bring
damn.
30 clips of rifle ammo. How about a he went that away quest? Just going around asking where someone is only to end up right in the beginning where you started. Then you have 3 days of time trial missions. I thought this was already a time trial. There's even an awkward boss fight. It's
Oh,
like they're trying to
fucking
find ways to stretch it
Minotaur?
out more than it needed to be.
Yeah,
It's like they
I
had
mean,
ideas of who the haruspex should talk to and what about, but they didn't
I
know how to get
wonder,
them from
was
point A to
this
point B, so they just made
melee
some stuff up.
intended, or did
The
they
thing is, you
add
still
that
get from point A
afterwards?
to point B, but now with extra errands. One day something interesting might be happening. The next day it's a scavenger hunt. A good half of this is really good, but the other half is wasted potential. With all that said and done, I can't talk much about the third character yet. Without saying too much, it does have interesting ideas, but it feels even more rushed than this was. Go to that house. Are they bad? Yes or no? Repeat. Hi, doggy. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk spoilers. If you don't want them, go to here.
Now you're talking spoiler. I thought all this was spoiler.
You really want to stick around for this, huh?
Like,
All
wait,
right.
he's like,
The
hey.
time in town changes the Bachelor. He's just trying to protect these people and find the cure to the plague, but things keep getting in his way. The customs interfering in his research, the rampant corruption, the power games. His hope is that the army might sort
I'm
things
just
out, but
trying
that
to
becomes a
help you,
slaughter. Even
motherfuckers.
the military has factions breaking it apart. It's all a mess. He's seen the town go from full of life.
That's why I
war
just
zone
leave
to
and I just
basically empty.
burn it fucking
He's
down.
understandably lost his faith in humanity from this.
I guess that's
so
what
what
they're
would he
doing.
have to turn to?
Person walk around with a
the impossible
flamethrower,
structure separated
burning
from the town
random
by a river.
things.
In the last stage of the game, your map will begin to change, showing a new angle of the city. It starts to match his investigation of the plague. He finally has it figured out. There is no step demon. The structure was put into the ground deeper than any building before it. The locals made claims that blood would pool around its support spike, but it wasn't blood. It was infected groundwater. The plague comes from the earth below the town. It all makes sense now.
It's the
And this amazing structure
Los
protects the people inside of it
Illuminados,
from the plague. After everything the town did to the Bachelor, there's only
or
one thing that makes
the
sense
Los
now.
Plagas.
The army needs to shell this town to the ground. The structure may have inadvertently caused the plague, but we need to keep it. It's a miracle. So the town gets shelled. No more city, but we get the structure.
See, that's what
The locals have several subplots
blow that
that
shit
span an
up.
intricate web. I'm not going to delve too deeply into those, but instead focus on the main themes of the game.
There's a
Now, our first
town
word of
and
the day
you're
is contradiction.
trying to
So much in the game
find a
contradicts
cure
each
for
other.
something that's,
In
I
Russia,
don't know,
the game
driving
is
people
titled
mad or
Plague
something,
Utopia.
and they're
The word
trying to
plague
kill
doesn't
you.
always refer to
I
disease.
just blow that
It
shit
can
up.
just mean destruction or calamity. But a utopia is a perfect world. Happiness, free for everyone forever, that kind of thing. So it would be destruction, perfection. How could those complement each other? Let's look back at the game. The town is a culture of a nomadic steppe people, but also industrialized. The musical lyrics are very tribal, but most of the instruments are electronic. An infection that destroys all life, but a building that can make your dreams come true. Tradition versus progress. You're a doctor who kills to survive. The game acknowledges it. How can the plague and the structure complement each other? There's an argument that what's been happening is harmony. Some live, some die, that's nature, but now it's taken to an extreme. There are characters who believe what's happening is the road to utopia. They believe the plague to be a physical law, almost like the plague is a kind of Newtonian
close
reaction
down
to
during the
structure being built.
pandemic.
A reality-breaking
People are
wonder
going to
is not a
die.
reality-breaking
You
tragedy.
just have to accept
Well,
that.
there's all
That would
Peter
happen
stuff.
anyway.
The philosophy is
Why
summed
would
up
you
like
close
this.
stuff there? Just
There's a
let
top in
people
utopia, but don't
intermingle
let the word deceive
and
you.
spread
It's
it,
all about what's
and
down
the
below.
strong will
It requires
survive.
dirt. There are arguments that it can exist, but it
Except not
shouldn't
me,
exist.
because I'm rich. And
Is
I
it
can
really
go to- I
perfect
go
if
to
it's causing
hospitals.
suffering too? And that's when I realized, how perfect is it that it's filled with kids? Sure, you can dream of a perfect world as a kid. Then you think about it when you're older and have more life experience. Do you think it's possible for everybody to have a perfect
If
ideal
somebody
world without
shot
anybody else being
somebody
left
in the
out?
face,
All right. Merry Christmas, everybody. Okay, so if you didn't pick it up,
Why
our
would
second
you
word is
st-
utopia. This is starting to feel like a bleak Pee-wee's Playhouse, so I'm not doing the words anymore. There's a lot of ways to interpret it. The tower could represent childhood innocence, and the town could represent growing up. The infection could be progress drowning out tradition, or vice versa. I don't know. The universal law thing
Yeah, it
would
seemed
explain why the
like
buildings and the streets themselves
you're getting
have
way
scabs and
deeper
signs
than
of
it
sickness
actually
on them.
is.
The roads in Massachusetts are just like this. There are criticisms of lives being viewed as disposable, which is pretty common for Russian games. There is one other big thing I want to touch on. But what about the other character? While his route is kind of blander, he does have some reveals. His map also changes, showing the town resting on a bull. The cattle processing abattoir has a second purpose, taking the blood from the cattle. They claim to pour it into the veins of the world and they can extract it warm whenever they want. Then it suddenly came to me. Why did the worms need blood for farming? The caste permitted to cut open bodies is related to the one who can dig into the earth. Inspired by the Bible, Puritans wanted to build a city upon a hill. In Pathologic, maybe, just maybe, they tried to build it on a bull. Or the utopia is a bad idea and we're feeding it our children. After investigating and mulling it over, it becomes apparent that the blood beneath the town was poisoned. He can make a cure using special blood from beneath the town, but the disease seems to be coming from the tower. Or it could have been this guy's fault. I don't know. Anyways, he has the exact opposite solution. Destroy the tower and save the town.
Who was that?
The kids love it. It could also be implying technological regression or stagnation, but I'm not sure. So here's the kicker. You need all of your bound to survive. However, you can also heal the bound of other characters. This means sacrificing your rare plague-curing items. This is a pain to pull off. If you save the bound of another character, you can choose their ending, and something else more important happens. The powers that be send you a letter inviting you into the polyhedron. What could it mean?
I got a bug in my nose. I don't know that nose hair.
What's that on the right? Is that...
Yeah, what was
no.
that?
Oh God, no.
What is that?
Not after all this. Please don't, I beg you. Oh no.
Oh, sad dude.
Look at our magic sandbox. Isn't it crazy? Everything's alive inside of it. Breathe. Keep in mind, You see this after playing it for 20 to 60 hours.
You are not real.
This is the big reveal. The town is a magic sandbox.
Are you fucking
It's a game
serious?
kids made after a funeral to cope with loss.
Oh, fuck
a
off.
funeral for someone who died of the sand plague. Oh, my head. The hero has been deceived. It was vain. It was all in vain. The hero is but a puppet. Wait a minute. This is written like a funny tragedy in a play. It's mocking. There's something to this. Well, I'm already in this deep,
So they're
and now
making
you are too.
fun of
What
that?
happens when you save all of the bound? Well, the same thing as usual, except afterwards you get an invitation to the town theater from the people who executed the whole thing. Time to find out. Sure, you can take my coat.
Well, they don't know. It was actually a play going on the whole time. It's me, the bachelor.
Oh my
It's me, the
God.
player.
These are the stand-ins for the developers. You can argue with them about the game and your role in it. You can ask who they are, but you already
Go to
know.
hell.
They're a collection of poorly rendered polygons on a screen. Your character may be a toy,
What?
but aren't the children who made the town a doll too? They made a mocking it was all a dream ending just to ask you, why would you be mad it's all a dream? You knew from the moment before you even played that it was all made up. A story-driven game can't give you true freedom
well, I
because,
mean, I know-
yeah,
yeah, it's a
everything you do is
video
already
game, I know
predetermined,
that.
all the variables. You already know that no matter what you play in the
Yeah,
back of
that's
your mind, but
interesting.
here it's
They
bringing
play-
it to the forefront. After being so invested in the
Yeah,
game,
they
this
were like, well, why are
blew
you
me
upset?
away.
That is
What
a
perfect
dream.
trap. Someone would only play through
It's
the misery of
fake
this game for
anyway.
the story, and even then they pull the rug out
Which
from
I
under you.
can't stand when
I
people in
hate
the
this,
comment
but I
section
really
do
like
that,
it.
where they're like,
This is stupid,
why are you
but it's
people arguing?
brilliant.
It's all fake. Yeah.
Inevitability. Wait, I thought we
No
stopped doing
shit,
that. Your
we
fate
thought it
was
was
sealed from the
real.
first screen in the game.
Like-
Inevitability and fate are constant themes.
Like,
in the
thanks,
game.
Captain
I've seen this
Obvious.
theme in a lot of Eastern European games before. It doesn't mean everyone there is sad, it's just a different cultural mindset. And boy, did Pathologic set my mind somewhere. The game constantly saying that it all ends, random characters foreshadowing the godchildren. It was
And
hammered into you from the
nothing
start.
else
You just didn't know what it all meant
matters.
yet. Yet there's still another pressing question. What about the Changeling? Gotta play that one. Yep, here I am. I know it's all a lie, but I'm still here. Oh, Path of Logic. So the English title had a meaning too. Anyways, in this fresh hell, you play a girl who wakes up in dirt. Your reputation will be falling no matter what, so that's nice. You're a
Well,
little
so
girl,
my
so the
life.
garbage cans look bigger. I think that's a positive change. I don't know. Your hands have magic healing powers. That helps you get your reputation back up. You can even cure the plague, but you could get infected yourself, so be careful. Of course I can heal you. Come, my son. Feel the power of... Turns
Oops.
out it might instantly kill sinners. Okay, let me try and
Oh,
heal this sick
okay.
man then. Nope, okay.
He
You
was a
only do it on the
son.
people with a really contagious
He has
disease.
sex out of
The
wedlock.
town is only a month old. Yeah, I know. Good luck in the SCP dungeon. The things being revealed now were already revealed by the other two characters. In fact, I was thinking about those
I
ones
just
more.
realized what he just
Maybe the world is supposed to be
SCP
full. That's why
dungeon.
there are scabs on the ground. The Changeling can't use normal weapons, only this special revolver. I diagnose you with dead. I made up a twin sister for the killings, but maybe she's real now? You have a mind power to force people to tell the truth to you, but it's all really minor details at this point. The tower is the dreams of children, etc. There's really not much happening. Oh, I can make the cure to the plague with my hands. Wait, wasn't I doing that? I'm thrown off. The polyhedron is an ideal.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Tell Volgan that I can save the town and the tower.
So this is
Now
just
people
you
need to
playing a
periodically
magical
sacrifice their
character.
blood to keep the town and the tower preserved. So there will need to be constant sacrifice to maintain a balance between tradition and progress. Okay, I get it. Our gods are children. Look, man, you gotta believe me. It's all a lie. So the Changeling caused the plague, but lied about having a sister who can heal, but then the healing sister lied about the Changeling being real, which made her real? Yeah, I'm gonna do this again. Guys, what's going on
What?
here? Okay, so the Changeling is both the protagonist, but also the plague, which is
Did a
contradiction.
maniac
One
write
thing's
this
healing
game?
and destroying, and it's all together, but now it's in the character. Hey, look, that's a good question down there. Why Changeling? Yes, tell me, please tell me why I just played this character. Well, initially we were going to rest content with just the destruction,
Just
but then we quickly slapped together a different ending. They didn't
Slapped
plan anything,
together.
they were rushed in dev time. Laugh it up, you and Volgan. Just
Wow,
laugh it
they
up.
like,
They're
yeah,
not
we
playing The Void
rushed
for
it.
at least a year. No more weird Russian games for at least a year. Here's my grand finale, my conclusion. Pathologic is about walking around picking up trash.
I like the developers
This
just
game is
admit,
hard,
yeah,
but
we
it's
had
not
we rushed
fun,
this
and it
part.
was made with that intention. While I can't quote it
We only
verbatim,
really
the developer
dwelled on the
basically
first
said
two
games can be more
guys.
than just being fun.
Mainly
They
the
achieved
first
that.
one.
I will never forget
This one we
game.
just slapped
The
together.
story, the setting, and the writing are fantastic. The game has so many interesting
Because that makes
ideas.
sense why you can just
It might
make
also
the
be
plague,
most boring and mundane
pull
game
the
I've ever
plague,
played.
get the cure out
It's
of the
a
plague out of your
contradiction.
asshole.
At the time of this video, it's ludicrously cheap. If you're interested but don't want
$1.
to deal with all the walking, I would still encourage you to get it, and here's why. The same developers are working on a complete reimagining of the game, changing and improving the stories of some characters, updating the visuals,
Oh, well, I
and
don't
most
need to get it
importantly,
then. I can
cutting down the walking. It has a free demo out called The Marble Nest. Check it out. The thing is, this game is going to be episodic. It was going to be one big game, but then the economic crisis in Russia caused the deal to fall through. The first episode will be about the haruspex and not the Bachelor. They might not be in trouble, but it's enough to get me worried.
Wish I was a
The story of the
billionaire.
original
I'll
game is
get
very
him some
similar to
money to
Darkwood,
finish it.
artists turning into game
That way,
designers.
and say,
They had to
don't
cut a
do
lot,
that
so
episodic
I'd like
shit.
to see what they can do when they realize their ideas better. This is a hard game to recommend, and if I did, it would mainly be for The Bachelor. I'm really torn on this. I don't think I can keep a good conscience and tell
he
people
keeps
to play
saying it
this.
like he just
You know
like
what you're in for.
he like
So that's the video.
I don't want to
See you
say
next
it's
year with
terrible.
something. Thanks for watching.
Like I thought about getting that game because I keep saying I'm gonna start playing games on here. I keep saying it. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it. I was actually thinking about doing it tonight. But I don't know, just starting to play a game tonight. I definitely would only play like an hour. That's why I want to start streaming. But like nowadays, I just don't feel like jumping into a game and playing it, for several hours. Like I'm like now I play for like an hour. And I'm tired, and then I just I'll do something else, do some coding lessons or something. Oh man, I don't know. Maybe that's just laziness and procrastination. Really, is procrastination because I haven't even played a game. Like I used to play a game. Even then, I play a game. I'll play a game for like an hour or something like that. I haven't played a game. Oh, it's been actually over a year now. Yeah, it's been, yeah. I think the last time I actually played something, I think I put in Dying Light, but I wasn't even going to play it. I was just trying to update all my games. So when I do start playing, I don't have to wait hours for an update. And I said, oh, after it finished, after PlayStation was still on, so I was like, I'll play it for a minute. Played it for like 2 hours or something like that, and then I was like, I'm tired of playing this. I wasn't tired, like I went to sleep or something. I just was tired of playing it. But this game is interesting. I almost wanted to get it because, especially, it was like, was $1.49. I almost wanted to get it just to play it, but then he said they're doing an updated version of the game. Maybe that's what that Pathologic 2 is that Alpha Shocker asked me to react to, which I guess I'll do that after this. So anyhow, I hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. One, if you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell. You want to be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.